Hello, everybody. Calm down, slow down, take a deep breath. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. By the power of the internet, our curious minds are brought together again once on this Thursday night is March 30th, 2023. And I want to welcome everybody to the Opinionated Idiot live show. I am your host, Bryan. And all I want you to do is sit back, relax your brain, plug in, and be opinionated. So it has been a pretty crazy 24 hours. And there's been a lot of breaking news and a lot of speculation. But I'm here to maybe calm everybody's mind a little bit. We're going to get into a lot of things this evening. We're going to get into a lot of things this evening. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me pull it up really quick. Amber is here. She says, hello. I hope you had an amazing day. Starting to live stream early tonight, aren't we? Yes, I have a lot to get into this evening. I have to be up very early tomorrow for a work shift, so I'm going to try to get in as much material as I can. No music. I will fix that next time. Dr. Bob, thank you so much. Sucked. I worked on that counter all night last night to get it perfect. Crazy P is here. How are you? We have Kristalina Spencer says, your viewers need to get educated. I'm sick. That folks are quick to judge as, I don't know what that is. Ignorance they are. Okay. I guess everybody's getting mad. Patty's here. How are you, Patty? Little Messy's in the house. She says, happy Thursday. Ready for the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Amanda is here. She's checking in. Hey, Amanda, how are you? We have Aria here. I'm here. I'm lurking a little. And supernatural being of the earth is here as well. And he says, or she says, cheers. So let's get to the agenda this evening. So as you know, there have been some new documents that have been released, a Brady Giglio order. And if you watched my video that I dropped yesterday, I could have gave a lot of education as to what that is. Now, I got a lot of shit from people because supposedly I shouldn't be covering any of this material because I'm not a lawyer, and the comments were fun. But the funny thing is that I read factual information. So if people actually watched the whole video, the whole 9 minutes all the way through, you would get a firm grip as to what Brady Giglio is. You know, it's the thing. And this is why, I'll be honest with you, this is why I don't make videos. I would rather live stream, because when I put my heart and soul into a video, I'll drop it. People will watch 3 minutes of it and then make a speculation or an opinion about your idea before they actually get the whole synopsis of the video. So that's why I live stream. And I just cut my live streams up into 8-minute videos and throw them out there. Because it's disheartening sometimes when you put your heart and soul into a video to give an educated piece of information. And who the hell, I'm rant. If you can see, I'm ranting right now. I had a little chocolate before the show, so I'm a little chocolatey sugar buzz right now. But it's just disheartening because, you know, it's like, who the hell am I? You know, people look at me and they go, you only have 3,000 subscribers. You know what the fuck you're talking about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if you actually would have watched the video, and I'm saying to the haters out there, if you actually would have watched the video, it would have educated you as to what Brady Giglio is. And I would have educated you when the last time that an issue like this came up in a case. Oh, and it was a major issue, 1995, the O.J. Simpson trial. What happened was the I believe the prosecution had information that Mark Furman had said racist statements, was on record for making racist statements. They had audio recordings of him making racist statements, and they failed to disclose that to the defense in that case. When it was presented in trial, that caused a big fucking issue in that trial and essentially helped O.J. Simpson get off, because the jury stuck to that point. It was the sticking point in that case. So if you would have watched the video that I put up all the way through, haters, you would have been educated and you would have learned what this was. But who am I? I'm not a lawyer. I don't do any research. My channel sucks, blah, 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 blah. And I also said in my video yesterday that I dropped that I said that everybody needs to calm down because the officer that's under this internal investigation could be conduct in this case, a previous case, and that is the rumor that's kind of flying around right now, or something else that's going on. We don't know. And I'll tell you, I haven't even really even seen anything in the mainstream media about this yet. So the theory that's being thrown out there right now could all be speculation. And the reason that a Brady Giglio order is put in the case, and it's probably put in about 95% of every case, that is so information is disclosed because the prosecution doesn't want to fuck this case up. This is a big case. So they need to be forefront and say, hey, one of the officers that is involved in another civil complaint or complaint that's out there right now. I'm sure that you guys know about it. There are other channels that talked about it. Drunk Turkey dropped a video today about it. Shout out to him. I'm going to be over there actually tomorrow night on his panel. So go over and watch us live. Publicly Buzzed will be on that as well too. So, wow, that was my good rant. But that's the thing is that, I say these things in the video, but people watch 2 minutes of it and they make an assumption or speculation about me that I should go to hell. I'm not a lawyer. I shouldn't be talking about any of this shit. Look I'm just a schmuck in my bedroom that makes videos. Okay. I love to research things. I like to talk about this. I have, if anybody wants to go back, the reason that I'm into true crime is a best friend of mine was murdered. This guy right here, he's dead. Okay. The people that murdered him walked. That's why I do this, because I care. So that's the haters. We're going to move on from that. You guys are seeing me kind of in rare form. In rare form. The chat is buzzing. The chat is buzzing. I had to let it out tonight because I'm frustrated. But everybody's got to we got to calm down. And I know everybody has their theories. I know everybody has the information. Everybody knows. And shout out to the viewer that actually emailed me some information and said, hey, maybe this is something that you can take a look at. Now, I'm not going to put the officer's face up that's being speculative right now. And we don't even know if this is the issue that's in this case. It could be. But before we get to that, there are a few other things that I would like to get to. Now, I need to calm my sugar level down. I need to take a sip of water. And we're going to get into the show. I see the love. There. And I'll tell you, it's hard sometimes. I was saying this today. I absolutely love doing YouTube. I love it. I would love for this channel to blow up and I have 100,000 subscribers on it. And I make the amount of income in my regular job to never have to go to work again. My dream is to get this out of, this is literally my bedroom. If I could turn the camera, I would. My bed is right there. Okay. My dream is to start small. I want to get this out of this house into my own space. I want to be able to bring people into my live show and have them tell me their story. If I can help them in any way, get their case public, maybe something that has gone cold, talk about past and present cases. That's my dream, to help people, to hear their voice. My dream is to get this out of my bedroom and get into a studio and be like a Joe Rogan style podcast. I know everybody kind of uses that as an example. He's the best fucking podcaster. And you know why he's good? You know why he's a good interviewer? Because he keeps his mouth shut 95% of the time and he lets the person that he's interviewing talk. And that makes you a great interviewer when you can listen to the people and be a voice for them. Oh, I'm hot tonight. I'm hot. But this is my dream. And I said this today. I was saying to one of my colleagues today, I said, geez, man, I hope like a year from now, if the channel grows enough that I make enough income off YouTube where I can split my job and do this half, do YouTube half and just go to work half the day. And then I can spend the rest of the time on my channel. And then eventually, maybe in a couple years, this becomes my full-time gig. I want to work for myself. I've always had a dream of working for myself. And I'm going to give it my damnedest here. And I'm going to try my hardest. And I know I have all of your love and support. You guys are amazing. You guys are the one that makes me want to do this. When you guys show up and you show me the support, and I have many emails that come in, and I love it, because I get a feeling for who you are. And when you share those personal details about your life, and if I can inspire you and help you through those times, that's what I want to do. If you're down, if you're having a bad day, we all have them. We all have them. But I'm not going to rest until there's justice in this case, whatever it may be. If Bryan Kohberger is not the guy, and there's evidence to support that he's not the guy, then I will support that. But these victims deserve justice. These 4 victims deserve, they didn't deserve this. They didn't deserve this. Those kids didn't know this was coming. They had no fucking clue. But don't call me, a piece of shit and a hater and someone that shouldn't be talking about this case. We should be talking about this case. These victims need a voice. These victims need a voice. And if I can be that voice for them, I will. If I need to help educate and put videos out to help do that, I will. I'll continue to do this until there's justice in this case. And then when there's justice in this case, we'll move on to something else. And we will find justice in that, whatever it may be. Let me pull this up really quick. Drunk Turkey in the house. You are the man. You guys are the legend. You guys are crushing it over there. And I am honored that you are here in my chat this evening, listening to me talk. I am honored. And I am honored that you guys support this show. I am so honored. And I am honored to be on your show tomorrow. Let's give him the tone. My pulse is going tonight. My pulse is going tonight. All right, let me straighten my camera out. I bumped my camera. Drunk Turkey says, looking forward to having you tomorrow, broski. I love you, man. Daniel, you are the fucking man. The way that I'll tell you, your natural ability to talk and captivate a crowd and hold them is fantastic. And your incredible way that you retain and give information back is amazing. So big props. Keep doing what you're doing over on that channel. You guys are going to have 50, 100,000 subscribers soon. I believe in it. I believe in it, brother. I believe in it. Chosen Rosen's got a $5 super chat. Says, Bryan, couldn't have said it better. We support you. Thank you, my friend. You are the best. I love all of you guys. I love all of you guys.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie. Straight hat.
I got you, homie.
And I got you, homie. I do. I got you. Thank you so much. SC in the house. Good to see you. I actually talked to your dad the other day. Said you were out on vacation. I got very nervous. And I'm so glad that you're here because I owe you something. I owe you something. Let's see. I'm going to see when you chat. I'm going to see when you chat. If you chat, I owe you a wrench. Because your wrench got messed up the other day, but I'm gonna fix that. Drunk Turkey says, "Thank you, man. I appreciate it." No, I appreciate you because, yes, I laid my platform, but you guys have given me a little bit of a push, and that is very respectful for a channel that could just keep moving on, but you recognize the smaller guy, and I appreciate you. So, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I will be ever so grateful and follow your channel and support your channel no matter what happens. So I appreciate it. All right, I'm fired up, guys. I gave it, I gave it on my all tonight. But we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this. I promise. I promise. All right, so let's take a look at this first. So where we're gonna go is I found a video. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but it is a current video of what King Road looks like now. 1122 King Road. I don't know if you've seen this video, but we're gonna pull it up and I will play through this really quick. Let me see. So News Nation got access to the King Road house, and let's play through this video really quick.
The sign of the Idaho quadruple murder has been taped off for the last 4 months with no access to anyone until now. This is what the house looks like today. Our News Nation crew now able to walk up that driveway after months of extensive coverage and get a better look. You can see every window and doorway is boarded up, the property enclosed with a tall chain fence, yellow tape still up, and it's guarded by security. News Nation's Alex Capriello is live for us in Moscow, Idaho. And Alex, you were granted access to a space very few people get a chance to see.
Nicole, that's right. As you know, I've been covering this case for several months now, but never before have I ever actually been able to stand that close to the crime scene. As you can see right now, I'm back on the street. That's because we just learned that after our exclusive reporting aired last night on Banfield, the security team that you see right here behind me completely barred my access to the home. But even still, I had enough time back there to gain a fresh perspective on both the crime and the accused killer.
Up close and personal, News Nation was granted access to the Moscow, Idaho murder house like no one has. Private security, on duty 24/7, led me to the back of the home, a place that's off limits.
This is nuts because, you know, as right now, as I sit here, as you all sit here, this is going to be the closest access via video that we will get to this house. I mean, this is crazy. When I saw this video, it just really like almost took my breath away because they're so close to that house and to know the horror that went on in there.
Limits to everyone except law enforcement.
So is it tough to be in charge of monitoring all this?
No, just make sure no one comes back here is really all the main thing that we're in charge of.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it's not fenced in, so, you know, people can walk around and take pictures.
These private guards work 12-hour shifts every day. When a shift swap occurs, the guards will run a perimeter check, making sure the crime scene hasn't been tampered with. They allowed me to approach the door where accused murder.
It's crazy that, you know, it's, and he's going to say this, and I don't mean to take his words away, but it's almost like a time capsule that's going on there. And you're going to see everything still there. It hasn't been moved. That couch that we've seen outside, the trash that is still there, the debris, the screens that are still out. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. And to know that this reporter is so close to that house, it's almost breathtaking.
Murderer Bryan Kohberger allegedly entered before carrying out the massacre of 4 University of Idaho students. It's a scene frozen in time.
It's crazy.
The backyard littered with reminders of the fun these college kids once had.
But obviously the big change here, everything boarded off. Windows, doors, this is
This camera guy
presumed to be the door that the murderer first used to get inside the home.
Kohberger is locked up less than 2 miles from the crime scene. Latah County jailers keep him closed off, but even still, he's not completely isolated from his fellow inmates. Sources with intimate knowledge from inside the jail say a new inmate was recently brought in.
I was going to get into this as well. So there's an inmate that has been threatening Bryan already. You know, a lot of times you'll see this when people often get into prison or go to prison. Well, this is not prison, it's the county jail, but it's almost to raise their level of status as well. They get some eyes on them to get some attention, and you're going to see that here.
Immediately harassed Kohberger from afar. "I'm going to kill you, Kohberger," the source claims the new inmate shouted. It was harassment that reportedly carried on all night. Soon, the inmate turned the verbal assault towards his guards. "I will get Kohberger to kill you," the source recalls. Guards were forced to move the inmate to keep the harassment from continuing.
And keep in mind, the Latah County Jail is only a 2,000 square foot facility located on the basement of the courthouse. We're told that Kohberger mostly keeps to himself, has lost a significant amount of weight over the past few months, and also receives weekly worship with a local pastor. Nicole?
All right, Alex, thank you for that. Well, tonight on Banfield, an exclusive interview with Kohberger's jailhouse pastor.
All right. Just wanted to show you a little bit about what was going on at King Road right now. And, it's crazy to look at that video. That's probably as close as we'll get to it, virtually. And really breathtaking. I mean, really, really breathtaking stuff. Just trying to see in my notes here. Where do we go from here? Oh, okay. It was a interview with a neighbor by News Nation as well. And they basically said that they've, since the arrest, they've had just had a lot of issues at the house, sleeping. And we'll play this through as well.
What did you find out from these neighbors, Alex?
Yeah, good evening to you, Ashley. Some really interesting details about Bryan Kohberger, his living habits, and what it was like essentially to be his neighbor downstairs for the past 5 months. As you mentioned, this was a father of 2 young little ones. And so I really entered this conversation from that perspective of a father who has 2 young children. And he expanded on that a little bit about sort of what that was like for him, essentially, especially after that news came down about Kohberger's arrest. But when it came to actually Kohberger's behavior, what I found out is that essentially he was a loner, right? This neighbor said that he never saw Kohberger with other friends, other people. He never heard other voices upstairs in that apartment. And so he just basically said all the noises that he would hear were from Kohberger himself. And let me tell you, it came late into the night. It sounds as if Kohberger was a night owl, would often be walking around well past midnight, washing things and just being generally disruptive. And that became a problem for this family. Essentially, this man told me his wife was so fed up because her little babies were trying to sleep downstairs, but she just kept hearing a ruckus upstairs that many times she wanted to go up, knock on the door and confront him, ask him to quiet down. But this man told me that he had to basically just tell his wife, calm her down and just let her try to go back to sleep as best as possible. But really fascinating details about who Kohberger was as a neighbor. These were just some of the few things that he told me. We have a moment that we want to show you from that interview. Did you realize when you heard about the arrest, it was him? Gosh, what was that like for you?
Yes, I and my family very shocked. Yeah, especially my wife. At that time, she was she not sleep very well. Yeah, she's worried about it. He is unrest.
Did you ever go up and ask him what he's doing at midnight, or?
Sometimes and I'm here. Sometimes they made a noise in bother us, we wake up, and sometimes my wife.
Sure, let's do this, Amber. Thank you for being kind. Let's do this. When we get to 75 likes, Amber is going to give away a membership this evening. So someone will get a membership that will support the channel monthly. We'll wait till we get to 75 likes. And I really want to get to 100 tonight. So what I need is everybody to smash that like button that's in the room that hasn't already. Please do so. And then once we do that, Amber's going to give away a membership today. It's a free membership. All you got to do is just go down there, hit that little thumbs up button, raise those level of likes. We're at 59 right now. We have 79 people into the room. Let's get there to 75. It's easy. It's easy. All right, let's keep playing through.
I'll go outside to knock the door, but I stopped.
She never did.
She never.
And obviously that neighbor having that in-depth conversation with me, telling me he wants to remain anonymous because he has been bombarded by various reporters, but saying it was okay to use his voice. So you heard from him there, not only sleepless nights because Bryan Kohberger was his upstairs neighbor and he was loud, but also after that arrest was made, more sleepless nights just because it all dawned on them that we were so close to this accused killer. I just want to show you real quick. This is where Bryan Kohberger lived. That's that second-story apartment right next to the letter G. The gentleman I spoke to is directly below that. So this is right here in Pullman, Washington. As you mentioned, Ashley, this is an area that is reserved for Washington State faculty and also students. Everyone else that I knocked on, many of them didn't answer their doors, but another gentleman who we didn't get on camera was also a student. He told me a little bit about what it was like living with Kohberger, but mostly the big picture here is that he kept to himself. He really didn't have many friends or people around. He didn't really make small talk out there in the parking lot when you would.
Yeah, okay, this is a good Mom Style says, I'm an American. Is News Nation liberal or conservative? I think from my viewing, and I don't watch it consistency. I really watch what they report on this case. I think that for me, it's pretty, I would say almost more down the line. Most major news networks in America lean very liberal. I think even Fox News, even they say they're conservative. They still lean a little liberal sometimes. So I tend not to read in too much, but they pretty much have. It's been pretty straight down the line. That I see, especially reporting on this case, and that's why I tend to pull their information up. Publicly buzzed in the chat room. What's up, dude? How are you? I can't wait to join the panel with you tomorrow on Drunk Turkey Show. I think it's going to be a really great show, and we're going to get into all the interesting things over there tomorrow about this case. Let's keep playing through this,
see
guys.
Your neighbors. It was never really friendly.
And then,
but of course, it wasn't really.
After
negative.
I get through this, I want to go through Brady Giglio, give some background of what that is, and then we're going to talk about the officer that allegedly is being investigated, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well too. So, got a good show lineup, guys.
Either. So, not much to say other than the behaviors that one would be able to find out when you are actually living directly below someone.
Yeah, publicly, we should, even after tomorrow, man, let's get together and do something. My plan is, and I'm actually going to be very transparent with the audience here. My plan is this, okay? I love the extreme talent of Daniel, Blue, Jaime over on Drunk Turkey. I think they're a great bunch of guys. I really enjoy their insight. I really enjoy what they do on their channel. I can connect with it, and I think we have the same vibe that goes on. So you have me tomorrow. I'm going to be introduced to Publicly Buzzed. I'm sorry, I don't know your name yet. And then my vision is, and I was saying this to some colleagues at work, I would love to do this. If the chemistry is great tomorrow, let's do this. I think maybe once a month for all of the viewers, because we all have the same viewers. I mean, we can be honest about that. What I would love to do is rotate through all of our channels, maybe once a month. We go on Drunk Turkey, we support him, we do a panel of crime people there, maybe do a Kohberger night or whatever, then come to my channel, we'll do a Kohberger night here, and then go to your channel and do a Kohberger, have this community of crime, I guess, these true crime community, because my vision and what I say is that it's always great to work together than work. I don't think we're really working against each other because we're all very nice and likable people. But if we can get a community together of people that are very interested in this content to spread this more throughout YouTube and get the level of these channels raised and get more awareness out there, I would love to do that. So I want to present that to Daniel tomorrow. And I'm sure he would be really in on it, because I think that all of us together can do more. So I really love, I've been thinking about this, and I think it would be a really great idea. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Maybe we can do, once a month to support everybody's channel. Like I said, and do one show a month where everybody comes together, and then we all collectively give our ideas on this case, because I know that's what everybody's looking for. And I think that's going to be a great thing tomorrow, because we're not all going to have the same ideas, and we're not all going to have the same opinions, and that's what makes this amazing. And if we can do it on a constructive respectful panel, I think that's great. So anyway, enough of me ranting. That's been one of my ideas. I just wanted to put that out there. It looks like that you love that idea. I completely agree. And he says we got to build this network, and we do, because it's for the victims. It's for the victims in this case. It's for the people that are interested in this genre, that if we can give back and serve this community and give them straight up information, you know, I'm all about that. So he says, no, I love that attitude. Awesome. Awesome. All right, let's keep playing through this, and then we're going to talk about Lady
Can I
Leo.
ask you about this? I want to dig a little deeper on the
If we
noises
get
after
10 more likes, if we get to 75, one of my moderators, Amber, is going to give away a free membership. All you're going to do is go down there and hit that upvote button, smash the like button. We'll get to 75. We're going to give someone a new membership, a gifted membership tonight.
midnight. I think that his wife had said there was a lot of like footsteps and like laundry or washing going on upstairs. Did you get a
And I have a, you know what? I'm going to be generous tonight too. Let's do this. Hang on one second, guys. Because I love all of the action. I love all the love this evening in the chat. What I'm going to do is I have, and we can play the card game again, because I know everybody loves that. I'm going to give away an Opinionated Idiot coffee mug. We'll give one of those away tonight. We'll do this a little bit later in the show, but I have this, and then I'll probably do this tonight too. I got a $10 Grubhub card too. Maybe we'll give that away, but we'll do that a little later in the show. So stay tuned to that. And I'm feeling generous tonight, because I was fired up when I came in. I was fired up. And yeah, one of my lucky viewers has one right now. If anybody hasn't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe. And I got to let you guys know this. The reason you may not be getting my notifications when I drop videos or go live is you need to adjust your subscribe button. You want to turn it on all. So if it's personalized, not going to work. If it's no notifications, not going to work. You need to go up and subscribe all. It's the top button at the top. We need 2 more likes, and then we're going to gift one of my members is going to gift a free membership tonight. A free membership.
sense, Alex, that this was all the time for 5 months, or that this was something that was very recent, like after November 13th or the night of November 13th, you know, that kind of thing?
Well, I would say that he said it happened on multiple occasions over the course of his time living there. So I don't think this is necessarily something that was
Phone lines are open.
That caught them so off
774
guard after
855
November 13th.
9400.
Oh my gosh, this is completely different. I think this was just generalized behavior of Bryan Kohberger, that he was up all hours of the night, I should say, just doing things, walking around, pacing, washing dishes, washing laundry, who knows, but just being generally disruptive all throughout the night. And if you can imagine, for a family that has 2 little ones, that becomes a problem. They're trying to go to sleep because they have school in the morning. And not to mention, if he's a faculty member, then he has also his responsibilities to take care of. So it really became a problem, because multiple times his wife...
If anybody's interested in getting a mug, I do have a store. I'm going to drop the link here for the store. You guys can go over and support the channel by getting a mug. Let me get my merchandise page really quick. It does help the channel. All the money from the store goes right back into my channel. But if you're interested, here's the link. You can check out all my merch there at my spring store. I'm actually going to be switching vendors hopefully soon. I just need to work on some new designs and new merchandise. But if you guys want to check that out, you can.
I've wanted to go and confront Bryan Kohberger, but
we're at 77 likes.
Who knows what would have happened if she did that?
Amber, if you want to gift away a membership, this is a perfect time to do it before I get into the next segment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, we love you being here. We love you being here. We got almost 90 people in the chat room. Let's get to 100 tonight. I love when there's 100 eyes on the channel. All right, Amber's going to give away a membership. So as long as you've been chatting, that's usually how it is. The more you chat is usually how you get it. Drum roll, please. But let me play. Hang on. Let me play some music, Amber. Don't do it yet. Let me play a little music. Let's get into the music here. All right. That's a good giveaway music, right? Yeah. No DoorDash. I didn't even think about that, Laura. I'm trying not to laugh about it, but yeah, that's funny. I gave Grubhub. Oh, that's terrible. I didn't even think of that. I think it was just a natural thing in my head. All right, let's do this. Sylvia, thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you for being here. 91 people watching. Let's do this. I think Amber's going to give it away here in a second. Or did she give it away yet? I don't see it. But we got the giveaway music. I wish I had one. I donated, she says, I donated or I gifted a membership and I got kicked out. So I had to come back and it didn't get it. So I need to try it again. Sure. All right. Let me, I'll kick the music again. Hang on. So I've been contemplating, should I cut the beard or should I keep it? If you want me to cut it, give me a 1 in the chat. If you want me to keep it, give me a 2, 1 or 2. And we'll wait until Amber gives away a membership. 2 is keep. I got all those 2s. Whoa. 1. We got a 1. Never cut a beard ever. All right, I got a phone call here. I'm gonna pick up this phone call. Let me kill this music caller. Hang on. Let's see. I'm probably gonna get yelled at. Opinionated Idiot, you're live on the air. Hello.
Hey, Bryan, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I love your show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I thank you for watching.
Well, I actually really enjoy hearing different perspectives.
Sure.
And even though I don't necessarily agree,
Okay.
I do enjoy listening to everyone's thoughts and perspectives and everything on the case. And I admire the fact that, you're like a lot of, we're doing this because we want real justice for these kids.
Right.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
Right. So that's, I think, what is really important. But I wanted to get your thoughts on a couple things.
Sure.
Regarding law enforcement and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first question that I have for you, and I mean no disrespect
Sure.
at all, so please don't take it that way.
It's fine.
But do you really believe that Idaho State Police and the FBI don't have the technology to test the sheath and that it needed to go all the way to Texas?
Well, I think it just all depends on what type of, I think that from what I'm understanding, the crime lab that it was sent to was a very good one. And I think that there may have been an issue in the way that they tested it. And I get it. That creates some doubt. I know where you're going with this. It creates some doubt. But in my heart of hearts, and I know that we're going to agree to disagree here, the evidence in this case, in my opinion, is very strong. Now, I know there's been a lot of roadblocks and twists and turns in this case. I think that's why we're also very fascinated by it. But I understand where you're getting from. I know what you're acting like a defense lawyer, and I get that. There's a lot of questionable things that come up as well that I scratch my head on. But I still feel that the evidence in this case is pretty strong against Kohberger.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I'm not necessarily coming from a defense aspect
Sure.
on it. I'm
Yeah.
just,
I say this. I tend to trust law enforcement pretty good. I think, and I know there's a lot of negative stance about law enforcement, and I think that has a lot to do with just the way that law enforcement, let's say, over the last 5 years has been portrayed. But let me give this to you. And I was just thinking about this the other day, and I'm actually kind of glad that you brought this up. And with all due respect, I'm not saying that you're questioning law enforcement, but I just want to put this out there. I think what happens in this country, and especially what we see in the media, is that when something happens bad in law enforcement, it's smeared all over TV, which it should be. It should be reported. Okay. If there's corruption, if there's, all the terrible things that we saw, over the past 5 years, that, people getting shot, it was the one gentleman, I believe, in South Carolina that just got literally shot in the back from a police officer. Now, that guy's a piece of shit. That guy should go to jail for the rest of his life. But let me ask you this. When is the last time, and we even saw this just recently in the Nashville shooting, okay? Those police officers, in under 15 minutes, if I don't know if you've seen the body cam footage, didn't hesitate once to go into that building and neutralize the threat. But let me ask you a question.
yeah, for sure. Nashville was not Uvalde.
Right.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question, though. When was that praised in the mainstream media? When is the last time that you've seen a police officer praised for doing something well and doing something right in this country? Never.
Oh, listen, I agree with you.
Sure.
I love our law enforcement.
Yeah.
So believe me when
Sure.
I tell you I am
Yeah.
bashing law enforcement in any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
I believe that, like 95%
Mhm.
of our law enforcement, especially on a federal level,
I agree.
These gentlemen and ladies are doing absolutely everything they can do. But that's
Sure.
also why
Yep.
I started to question
Mhm.
a lot of the moves
Yep.
that law enforcement was making. So, with regards to the sheet,
Mhm.
as someone who understands how physical evidence works,
Yeah.
trace evidence, touch, DNA, things like this,
Mhm.
I can promise you that the FBI and the Idaho State Police have the technology
Mhm.
to find trace DNA.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Where do you?
So
Can I go ahead?
The way that they did this
Mhm.
is outside of what is normal protocol, as
Mhm.
far as I'm concerned. So when Idaho State Police got the sheet and they tested it and they found nothing on it,
Mhm.
right? And then it had to be sent to another lab
Mhm.
in order for this tiny single cell speck
Mhm.
of DNA to be found,
Mhm.
right? That's incredibly questionable,
Mhm.
only because they had FBI backing them up,
Mhm.
and FBI had like over 60 agents on this case at the time.
Mhm.
So that's kind of one area
Mhm.
of concern for
Mhm.
me, maybe in the moves
Yep.
that were being made.
Right.
And then the other area of concern for me is the fact that the sheet,
Mhm.
along with the speck of DNA that was found on it, along with the genealogy
Mhm.
that was used,
Mhm.
none of those three things were included in the warrant applications for his apartment.
They
or
really
for
don't have to
Pennsylvania
disclose all
property.
that in a PCA. PCA is just for probable cause to arrest.
I am not,
Mhm.
here's where I'm going with
Yeah.
this. If you are a lead detective on
Mhm.
a quadruple homicide,
Mhm.
and you have what is considered to be slam dunk evidence,
Mhm.
like DNA,
Right.
you are not going to exclude it from your warrant application
Mhm.
unless It is questionable evidence.
So can I ask you this? Can I ask you this? What's the conspiracy? Why is it that they frame? What's going on? What do you think is going on? Why are they just nab this college student that supposedly got pulled over a couple times in the area? I'm asking, like, where do you stand?
I'm not 100% sure. What I do know is that a lot of the things.
But you're questioning, right? But you're questioning the investigation.
Questioning is protocol.
But you're spinning in circles because you're questioning the investigation, but you don't know where you stand on it. Where do you stand? Do you think they're just framing them? Do you think it's law enforcement did this?
What I'm questioning is the protocol.
Okay.
Because for every law enforcement agency across the country, whether you be local, state, or federal, there is standard protocol and standard operation.
But you're not giving me an answer to where you stand on the case. Do you think they're framing Bryan Kohberger for this murder, and it's law enforcement that did it?
Yes.
I think that I finally got it out of you.
Yeah, I think they could potentially have the wrong person, and I think they figured that out pretty quickly that they had the wrong person.
So then why hold up an innocent kid in jail and say, hey, we fucked up?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to come out. I think this Brady
I don't think so.
is just one of many bombs that are about to drop in this case.
No, the Brady Giglio is going to the civil case that's been filed against Gunderson.
Well, nobody's confirmed that it's Gunderson.
Sure. But that's the only thing that's out there and that our sleuthing can find.
Because it's been explained quite clearly. So Brady Giglio is two things.
Yep. I can read you the definition of it. I have it right in front of me because I was actually going to be talking about this tonight in the show.
I don't need you to read me the definition. This is something.
It's my platform.
I'm just saying it's something I studied.
Okay.
So I'm very well aware
of
what it is.
I have it in front of me. I know what it is too.
The point that I'm getting at is that it could be a plethora. It could be an officer with a history of misconduct. It could be an officer who has a history of coercing witness statements.
I know I talked all about this on my video yesterday.
Right. So there's no guarantee it's Gunderson. This could be anything.
I know that. That's right. Did you catch the beginning of the show?
Well, no, I didn't.
Because I said that everybody needs to calm down. I said everybody needs to calm down because this could be a small thing. It could be a big thing. We don't know yet.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, I think a lot of the YouTubers are running with it because, hey, check this out. You know, I get that.
Well, no, it's not that it's a check this out. It's just that if you're going by standard operating procedure, and you're a law enforcement agency that is following your protocol, right? There shouldn't be a single officer working a quadruple homicide who has a history of Brady violations.
Okay.
They shouldn't be employed. And they certainly shouldn't be working a case as big as this.
Well, they haven't been convicted of that Brady Giglio issue. It's still an issue that's being...
If Bryan is guilty, this is where I'm going with this. We have an issue where Bryan is guilty. Bryan is the guy. And you have officers working the case who have a plethora of Brady violations.
Where's the plethora?
It sounds like there's more than one.
I just come up with one that I can research, and it goes back to the civil case.
What I mean is the wording from the actual documents themselves for the filing.
Yeah, just said internal investigation.
Yeah, it sounds like it might be more than one officer.
Could be.
So that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Sure.
I'm not for Bryan.
Yeah.
I'm not against Bryan.
Right.
I believe in the Constitution. I believe in proper, due process. And everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Where I'm going with this is that when you have officers who maybe have a history of misconduct and Brady violations, and they've been assigned to work a case like this, it's going to create problems. And then you have a potentially where someone who is guilty can get off.
Of course. Everybody talked all about this.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's it's not so much to me look at this, haha, told you. No, for me, it's a problem because these kids do deserve true justice.
1,000%.
There should not be officers working their case who have a history of misconduct.
Absolutely. And that falls on the chief's hands.
We can all agree that these officers, it doesn't matter which law enforcement agency you're with, if you have a history of misconduct and Brady violations, you shouldn't get to leave one department
1,000%.
Over to the next.
1,000%.
You know? So I hope that's something everybody in the true crime community can kind of agree on, is that it doesn't matter.
I said yesterday in even Kristen saying, Bryan literally read the definition in his video yesterday. I did. And I also said that people need to slow down and not jump, because this could be misconduct in this case. It could be misconduct in past cases. It could be ongoing conduct. We don't know what it is.
Well, it is confirmed,
and that's why everybody's jumping.
It's an officer who is currently working the case.
I know that. It's Gunderson. It's the First Amendment complaint. And that's what everybody's jumping on. But we don't know if it's even that.
The point that I'm getting at is that it is an officer working this case. And that
listen, you don't. I completely agree with you.
Shouldn't be on the case.
I completely agree with you.
Right.
100%.
And if there's any kind of shadiness going on with these, if it's more than one officer, if it happens to be, for all we know, it could wrangle in a lot of Washington State too, for all we know. Who knows? But this case, because it is both states. So. You know, if there are 1, 2, 5, 10 officers who are on this case and they have any kind of history where maybe they, do some things they aren't supposed to be doing, they shouldn't be on the case, is kind of the point that I'm getting at. That's the bigger picture here.
Sure.
I feel like they shouldn't have a job.
I don't make those decisions. Call Moscow and complain.
I just hope that that's something everybody kind of looking at this case.
I think that pretty much everybody that has talked about this is pretty smart about it. Absolutely. I didn't say that this guy should have a job, but I don't know if this is what the complaint is. Everybody's saying it's the Gunderson complaint. It's the First Amendment complaint, what they call sticker gate, that has happened out there. It's going to talk about it this evening, but we'll talk about it right now. I don't even know if it's that. It could be other things. It might not even be this. I don't know. We don't know yet. But I think what happens is people get on the internet, they start looking around. I had people emailing me last night about it. Drunk Turkey did a video about it today. I believe Publicly Buzzed is probably going to talk about it this evening. I don't disagree with you. If there's fuck up in this case, and that's what I said, the prosecution right now wants to be as honest as they can with the defense. And I don't have to preach this to you. Brady Giglio is normally filed in a case anyway. That's just so the prosecution is transparent. And the reason that it's normally filed is because the fuck up in the O.J. Simpson case in 1995. They had evidence about Furman speaking racist statements on tape, and they didn't disclose it to the defense. And then what happened is it came out in trial, and that essentially helped O.J. Simpson walk because the jury found out and they stuck with it. Not anybody's talking about that. None of these true crime channels have done their research on that. I said that in my video yesterday. But that's the thing that I was getting to, is that people watch my videos, they see 2 minutes of it, and then they publicly, they bash me in the comments, and I'm like, you guys haven't even watched the whole video. I'm educating on you what's going on.
I hope I'm not.
Oh,
I've never bashed you in your
no, absolutely not.
Like that, no.
I completely agree with you. If there is a case, if there are, and I get it, if there are police officers that have conduct issues, they should not be involved in high purpose cases. That's probably why the FBI stepped in.
Well, I think that's what upsets me the most about it.
Sure.
Is because on a case like this, you can't have one fuck up.
Yeah.
Or else
that's right.
Walk.
And right now it's looking like there's a lot of fuck ups in this case.
A lot of people will say, oh, these TCAs, we're only getting like 10% of what law enforcement knows.
Mhm.
That is so inaccurate
Mhm.
because I promise you,
Mhm.
law enforcement
Mhm.
are not allowed to violate your constitutional
Right.
rights based on 10% of evidence.
Right.
So usually when they go before a judge, they're
Mhm.
going before a judge with like 80% of
Mhm.
what they got
Right.
to get these warrants,
Right.
okay? And it's a problem for me that they didn't follow protocol
Mhm.
when it comes to getting these warrants. They're leaving out their own Exhibit A on a warrant application.
Well, I mean, look
It's
at
an issue.
small town, small town police, police departments. There, a lot of it doesn't follow policy to the T. I know there was a interrogation that I watched, and I can't remember the sheriff's. It was out of, was it Michigan? A very small town in Michigan or something up in the northwest, and they were loafing around. And I remember the guy's name, Jimmy something, and they were loafing on the time clock. They were saying that he was there and he wasn't there. He was at home, and basically they just deposed or investigated all of the people on that department, and come to find out, they were essentially stealing payroll. They were taking stuff from the department. I understand a lot of that stuff goes on. All law enforcement, like we said, I tend to believe in about 99% of law enforcement out there. There are some fuck ups. There's a lot of fuck ups. But yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. If this is an issue where there is people that should not have been on this case, and they are, and this gets fucked up, it's not going to be good. Because
yeah, I'm kind of in the camp of like, okay, so I
Mhm.
don't want someone who's guilty to walk, but I also don't want someone who's not guilty to go before a firing squad either.
Oh, of course. But
And I don't know if you've ever been through, have you ever been over to like Moscow police, like go through their call logs and stuff? Like everything with them is no report.
yeah,
No report taken.
Yeah.
No report taken.
Yeah.
Right? It's so incredibly disheartening when you go through and, for me, I'm not looking at like, okay, conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
right? I understand. We all have our own. We
Right.
all have a rabbit hole we fall down, and it's fine. Everybody is.
There's a lot of people that don't like my rabbit hole. I can tell you that.
No, I'm all for the rabbit holes. I'm all for the rabbit holes. I love them. The point that I'm getting at, though, is I'm looking more at the protocol aspect from day one.
Yeah.
Because I understand procedure.
Right.
And I understand.
Are you prior law enforcement, if I can ask?
I am not.
Okay.
But I have worked with them.
Okay.
So it's bothersome to me.
Yeah.
As someone who understands how to read
Mhm.
legal documents, how things should be filed.
Right.
It's a problem for me that these detectives left out their own Exhibit A off
Mhm.
their warrant application.
Yep.
It's a problem for me that this sheet needed to be shipped to Texas when I know for a fact Idaho State Police and the FBI have the technology to locate trace DNA on any item.
Mhm. Can I ask you a question? Because you seem very knowledgeable about, like, police reports and DNA. And I know that touch DNA, since we're kind of touching on this, no pun intended. I read in an independent study, and I actually talked about this on one of my live streams, and I'm not sure if I'm correct here, but it said in the independent study that touch DNA, and this is where it leads me, that I believe that, that I feel strong with the evidence against Kohberger. But I read something in an independent study that was actually done this year. Believe it or not, it was in July of this past year, 2022. And I have the file. And if you ever want to email me about it, I can send it to you and you can look it over. But it said that in their controlled study, and I get this is a lab environment, and they said under very minimal UV light, which would be in a dark room, which would be a setting like Moscow, King Road. They said that in their report, they found that touch DNA would only last up to 7 days on an item. Have you ever heard of anything like that? Because I know it's very, when they say touch DNA, you know, this whole thing about what length of time it can be, it's never really been a concrete answer. I'm not sure if you know anything about that.
The problem with touch DNA
Mm.
is that, so for example, I personally train
Sure.
with weaponry,
Okay.
critical defense training.
Mm-hmm.
So I train with pistols, rifles, knives.
Awesome.
I know that when I go to the gun store
Yep.
and I go shop around,
Right.
I'm going to pick up a few of those pistols or maybe a rifle, and I know that I'm leaving my skin cells, my
on
DNA
that. Yep.
on that item.
Right.
I understand that if someone was to come in 2 hours after me, purchase that firearm, and then proceed to go commit a crime with it, my DNA is
Could
going
be
to
on
be
there.
on
Right.
that firearm.
Sure.
So we all leave touch DNA everywhere all the time.
Right.
Right. That's why the touch DNA is so unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as within 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
all that tells me is that sometime within 7 days,
He touched that
he
item.
may have touched that item.
I'm glad that you
It
said
doesn't
that,
mean anything.
because I'm glad that you said that, and you knew where I was going with this.
Yeah, he could have went into a shop,
Sure.
touched it. and
But let me
put it
ask
by
you,
and walked out.
why wouldn't he be saying that? Look, yes, of course I touched it.
He can't say anything. He can't say anything. There's a gag order.
I just find it very strange. And I said this the other day. If that was my child, okay, and I don't give a shit about a gag order. I don't care. I would be out there somewhere advocating for my child, and no one has advocated for him. His sisters that actually just lost their jobs, I was going to talk about this evening, they have been fired from their jobs. They haven't even gone to visit him.
Yeah.
And I understand. I just find that very strange. I find that very strange.
It's an incredible financial hardship.
Sure.
To go from Pennsylvania to Idaho.
Oh, of course.
To go visit someone in jail. And you know, they're already struggling as it is. I think
Right.
it's disgusting, personally, that they were fired from their job.
I do
Here's
too.
Why?
I do too.
I find it to be incredibly hypocritical
Mhm.
because a lot of these same news agencies and people who are like applauding the fact that
Yeah.
the sisters
No, I
are
don't
fired
think that's
from
right in any sense. They have nothing to do with
These
it.
are the same people
Sure.
who are doing paid interviews with
Yeah.
BTK's daughter.
Right. Yeah, I
I
don't.
find it to be incredibly hypocritical.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like these people have done nothing, and
Of course.
up until date, they're not implicated in anything that he did.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. I think they're going to have a case there. I'm going to tell you that. You know, whatever this way, you know, whatever this
Yeah,
goes,
with
if this goes to
wrongful
trial.
termination,
Yeah, of course. That's wrong. You know, that's just wrong. Yeah, I completely agree. But that,
Just,
unfortunately,
you know, I understand this whole case gets people really riled up.
Ah.
And I
well, I think a lot of
trying
it.
to stay- I'm trying to stay on the side of, okay, let's.
Well, I think, and you know, I want to say this. I want to say this to you, and I'm sorry that I've talked over you for a second there. I want to say this. I did come in a little aggressive. I did come in a little hot. So I do want to apologize to you there. But I think that you're right. I think that we do get a little bit emotional about this because everybody does have their opinion on it. And I think that, you know, some people are very stuck to it. You're not going to be able to swing them either way. You have a camp that says, oh, he's fucking guilty. You know what I mean? Then you have a camp that says this guy should be, you know, this is a travesty. He should be walking around. He's a free man. He didn't do this. And then I think you have some people that really just sit right in the middle right now. Again, I tend to lean more towards, I think they have the right guy, but this might get fucked up.
Well, that's what worries me.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm on the camp of, all right. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When this case first happened,
Mhm.
my first initial thought was, holy shit, this is some kind of like horrible hazing incident gone wrong.
Yeah.
Right. That's honestly what I thought.
Well, look just what came out the other day in the media. The kid there, I think in Georgia, that got hazed.
Yeah.
And he's almost died.
It's horrible.
And it's terrible.
Right, it's horrible.
And the FBI is involved in that case.
My mind, though, and here's what got me
Yeah.
interested in this case, because I'm not going to lie to you, for the first couple of weeks, I honestly just assumed this had to be some kind of like frat thing gone wrong. Right?
Yeah.
Then what really got me was I noticed some of the things that were being done by the local law enforcement, and that's kind of what made me start going, wait a minute, like something is not right here.
Right.
And you know, I don't know, there's a lot of people out there, they go by, you just know, right? Like your gut knows things and you're not sure why, but you just know something's off.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this. Something's off. Something is not right. And I'm really hoping that if he is the right guy, they have way more than a speck of touch DNA in a sheet. Like, we know that a couple of these victims had defensive wounds.
Right.
I'm praying those who fought back.
Yeah. Have DNA under their fingernails.
Under their nails.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's like a slam dunk.
Yep.
You can't dispute
And
it.
keep this in mind too, you know, and you're very smart, and I'm not talking down to you in any way. We still haven't heard about the processing of the car. I have heard that they have completely dismantled that car to swab it. We still haven't seen the forensic, the digital forensic DNA of all these phones and devices, the car, anything that you can think of that connects this crime that would leave a digital footprint. We haven't heard about that. I take you back to Murdaugh. You know, look at how all that digital evidence really helped that case. You know, that kind of evidence is what it is. If it says this kid wasn't in that area and they're faking it, it's going to come out, you know, once they start pulling that information off those phones.
Though, too, when it comes to small towns like that,
right?
You know, they've got one tower that everybody bounces on.
Yep.
They've already admitted in their own sworn documents that his phone pinged in Moscow once, even though he wasn't there.
Yep.
And I'm going, okay, well, I'm like, you just admitted that at one point his phone pinged there, even though he wasn't there, because sometimes the cell tower's overloaded and it's got to be bounced off the next one.
Right.
So they could throw out all of his pings.
So let me ask you this, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Do you think they got the right guy? I'm sorry if I put you on the spot. I'm just trying to gauge where you're at.
Okay. It's okay.
Sure.
It's something that I promise you I've worked out in my
You're
brain.
battling with it.
I've worked it out in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
If he did do it, how?
Mm-hmm.
And how did he do it with no help?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've worked out in my brain, okay, so we know that technically one of his phone pings, he wasn't even there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, just looking at it from a legal perspective.
Sure.
Okay, so we could question every other ping at that point. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem with the sheet. It's a problem that the genealogy, the DNA, and the sheet weren't used in the warrant applications when that's like slam dunk evidence.
Okay.
I don't understand why you wouldn't give that to a judge.
Mm-hmm.
But, right? So that's why I'm battling with it. That's kind of why I struggle with this. And I'm like,
But why do you think? So let me.
He's either being framed,
Mm-hmm.
and here's why I think potential
Sure.
for him to be framed exists. Here's why.
Okay. Because I'm going to ask you, like, what is the motive to just frame this guy, to pluck this guy out of obscurity?
I'm going to give it to you.
Sure.
I'm going to give you what could potentially be a motive.
Right.
Now, from what we know, by all accounts, between his criminology, the guy is a criminology teaching assistant.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a PhD student.
Yep.
So that right there, anybody who's ever taken these kinds of courses is going to understand. As of right now, this is just fact, and it's not something the media is ever going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
He can be accounted for either in class, teaching
Yep.
or on campus
Right.
80 plus hours a week
Right.
because of his course requirements and his teaching requirements.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So they're working with a very small window that this person could be stalking, whatever the case may be, right? Because I'm sorry, if you're working 80 hours a week, you don't really have a lot of time to be stalking people.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, a lot of people, oh, he was stalking them from the Mad Greek. Well, I don't think so, because if we go by his phone pings, they're all at like 2 o'clock in the morning and the Mad Greek isn't open at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's not where he was stalking them from.
Mm-hmm.
With what Bryan was doing at WSU,
Mm-hmm.
having access to criminology labs, all of the cloud-based forensic stuff, that's what he was teaching. I wouldn't rule out that Bryan could have potentially come across something that maybe people aren't supposed to know, okay, going on between those two tasks, between Pullman and Moscow. There is potential that because think of what this person had access to. Washington State University's criminology lab works with the Idaho State
Yep.
Police and local
And he
law
had access to
enforcement
it.
solve crimes.
Yep.
Right. He has access to things we don't.
Right.
He has access to maybe information on some corrupt law enforcement officers.
Mm-hmm.
There was a case a couple of years ago, Daniel Hargraves. He was an officer out of Pullman, Washington State University. He was accused by a freshman student of SA
Mm-hmm.
in the back of his patrol car, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
on duty.
Yeah, I've heard all this.
And yeah, so that's one case of we don't know how many.
Right.
That's kind of the point that I'm getting at.
Sure.
A lot of that stuff they like to keep hush hush.
Mm-hmm.
So there is potential.
I think you've
maybe
made your
Bryan
mind up, though. I think you think that he's not the right guy.
No. You asked me
Sure.
what would be the reason for framing someone like Bryan.
Right.
And I would say that could be a potential reason. If
Right.
you think about, we hear about it all the time. Think about like what our government has done to whistleblowers and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Julian Assange, Edward Snowden. These people literally have to go live in other countries and stuff because if they come across something that wasn't supposed to be seen or be told or get out, right? Next thing you know, you're green-lighted.
Mm-hmm. Look at the kid that they just put in prison for what, 3 years for literally being escorted around in the state capitol. And Tucker
Right.
Carlson came out and had the video, and it's funny, that guy gets moved to a halfway house today. And he just spent 3 years of his life in jail.
The same material going on right now in Bryan's case,
Right.
Brady material, it's exculpatory. It shows that the person is actually innocent of the crime they were accused of.
I'm not quite there yet.
So
I need more.
What I mean is,
Sure.
This is why a lot of there is a lot of missteps
Mm-hmm.
in protocol that make me question why certain things were done. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you ask me what would be a reason to
Right.
frame someone like Bryan, there's a lot of things Bryan had access to because of what he was doing.
But how would they know that right away? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would they know we're gonna pluck this kid out? Law enforcement is gonna know that.
Well, here's what I think maybe
Sure.
a lot of people forget. It's not like Bryan was only there starting at like the end of July.
Well, he was there in August. Just August 1st, he moved in. 2 weeks later, he was pulled over near King Road about a mile from the house in the afternoon. And that's why I said the theory that, and a lot of people go back on this, he could have been, I think he could have been door dashing, because he got pulled over multiple times in between August and the murders. And it was at obscure times. And I said, well, maybe he was using, a lot of kids they're college kids, they need extra money. Maybe he was using this service to go around to these college doors, deliver food, and find his victim. It's just a theory I've thrown out there. It's not a concrete thing. I just throw it out there to make people think. But he was pulled over in the first 2 weeks of being there. Now, if anything, if there's conspiracy theorists out there, they can say, well, that's why they picked him. They found out who he is. They interviewed him when they pulled him over. They got all his information, found out he was a TA at, Pullman, had all this access, through conversation. I still think that, in my opinion, the case is very strong against him. When I go back and look at the body cam footage when he was pulled over in Indiana, his body language was very nervous. Looked like he was trying to hide something. When his dad started speaking about the shooting back in at WSU, his eyes grew very big, kind of like shut the hell up type of stuff. And I don't know. Listen, there could be a lot of fuck ups going on in the department. It's starting to look a little bit like that. I hope that a guilty guy doesn't walk if he is guilty. But it's certainly, if he's innocent, he needs to be let out of prison as well too, because he doesn't deserve that.
Right. I agree. Yeah. It's very frustrating.
It's a frustrating. I think what happened. I think what happened was.
I feel bad for the parents.
Of course, and I think what happened was that when Bryan Kohberger was caught, I think everybody felt right away that this was going to be a slam dunk case. We have the guy. Here's the evidence. Here's everything. Now what's happening is the onion layers are being peeled back, and there's a lot of things that are being exposed. So this is now reorganizing, I think, everybody's brain to say, hey, maybe he is innocent, or, they lean a bit, well, no, he is guilty. I think this is what it's doing. And I look at this case sometimes and I feel like I'm being thrown around in a washing machine. I go back and forth. I'll be honest with you. It does make me a little bit nervous what came out. It does. Certainly makes me nervous.
I think what is frustrating is, like I said, I'm a parent. I
Yeah.
have a daughter,
Sure.
college age. And it's frustrating. I can only imagine how these parents feel when you're sitting back. Now, there was so much, even in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Kaylee's dad, did an interview, and he's discussing how law enforcement asked him to basically break into the phone.
Right.
And he used the word phones plural.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, you've got to be shitting me that they need him to get into the phones, which is just insane to me, right? That you would even need. So he's IT. Right. Kaylee switched up her stuff towards the end. She was going IT. She has this super duper encrypted computer from Extreme Networks that law enforcement can't get into, and they needed to get a warrant asking the company to give them what's on her laptop.
Well, I mean, to be fair to that too, Apple, they don't even half the time, and you probably know this with law enforcement, to get anything off of an Apple phone is always a struggle for law enforcement as well too. They usually don't give it up, and even FBI asks certain things to get from phones, and they, for some reason, I don't know why they don't work with law enforcement. Can I just do something really quick before this passes? I just want to recognize Cranky as becoming a supportive member of the channel. If you guys want to support me, you can go down there and click the join button and join a monthly membership, or if you want to throw up a super chat, you can do that as well. And like I always do, we play the new channel member tone. Let me just do that really quick. Thank you. So, this is a great phone call. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, I'm glad that, you even took the time to talk to me.
Of course.
Really, I enjoyed listening to your show and stuff.
Even though you might not agree with me, right?
Well, I just think that, don't take this the wrong way,
No.
but I understand why you get emotional about it, and I'm really sorry about your friend, by the way, so I understand why you do this. But I should tell you, though, too, so back in the day, I'm not far from you, by the way.
Got it.
I know you're in Massachusetts.
Yep.
I'm not far away.
Sure.
Back in the day, I was involved in some things, you know, and people that I probably shouldn't have been involved in when I was younger.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this, I unfortunately had to experience an awful home invasion that was done in my house. Okay.
Yep.
And the only reason I bring this up is because it takes a certain level of skill to get in and out of a house as one person.
Right.
So, you know, the home invasion that was done on my house, unfortunately, my best friend was shot in the back of the head.
I'm sorry.
By the person who came in. Thank God she lived.
Yeah.
But that girl, you know, that poor girl till this day has some issues from it. I always held like a lot of guilt, thinking it was something I did wrong.
Right.
Or, you know, and it wasn't. You know, this person targeted us specifically. And, you know, it was horrible. But the reason that I bring this up is because after that is when I decided that I was going to get trained in self-defense and that I was not going to be a victim.
Yeah.
Again, okay? With the people who I train with, that's who I've trained with for like the last decade. These are all like spec ops, Army Rangers, military people. It is incredibly difficult for one person to fight off, and we know that there was a fight. We know that because more than one victim had defensive wounds. I speculate one of them is Ethan. Ethan was a big boy, and he was very tough, very strong kid. It is incredibly hard as one person to fight off on your own one or two people.
Well, keep in mind,
I'm saying, like, fighting,
this person that killed them had a knife.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
You have to understand, and you'll understand where I'm going with this. That even if that person has a knife, okay? So the hypothesis is he snuck in, went upstairs first, killed Maddie and Kaylee, came downstairs and just went to Xana and Ethan's room, even though he didn't have to. No, I believe that he encountered Ethan. I believe there was a struggle. I'm going to tell you, I would not be surprised. I'm going to speculate. This is just speculation in my opinion. We are probably going to find out that it was definitely more than one knife that was used, and it's probably more than one weapon in one person. So my theory is that it is Bryan. He did not do it alone.
Okay. It's respectful. That's been out there. Do you think it's do you think it's the guy, the shooter from WSU? Because there's been a lot of talk about that. What was that, Brett Kohberger?
Actually, I'm very concerned it was Brent. Yeah. And the only reason I am concerned that it could have been Brent and that the two of them maybe came in contact at some point is because of his military background and because I work with military people, ex-military people. It is, you're going to have a much easier time getting in and getting your target when you are combat trained.
You think that he helped him, or you think that he was the person that did it?
I think that if Bryan is the one who actually did do it, it was him and Brent together, more than likely. Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, because all the public inquiries that I've seen about him to release the records of that case, body cam footage and all that, has being held back. And it's interesting that it is being held back, because I wonder if this is going to be, you know, that information, if Bryan is involved in this, and it is Kohberger as well. I think I've said his last name correctly. Is it Kohberger or Kohberger? Maybe they're holding that, you know, the prosecution, well, the defense would know about it, But I wonder if that's something that, you know, a feather they kind of have in their cap, and they're holding all that information.
Well, I will tell you this.
Sure.
The only thing that's been released on Brent is the scanner audio from the SWAT raid that day. And what I found to be very interesting in listening to that scanner audio is at one point, the captain, chief, whoever he is, that was heading up the whole SWAT incident, he can be heard over the radio asking for evidence tape because Brent was up on the balcony there, chucking documents, throwing documents off the balcony and out the windows.
Interesting. I don't know. So, it's a big mystery, and it gets soupier and deeper every day, right?
Yeah, and I'm just saying,
of course,
if it is actually Bryan, right, then I would hope that they have way more than kind of what they're playing with right now, because right now what they have, Ann Taylor is an incredible defense attorney. She's a very smart woman. And the other guy that they brought on, the forensics attorney,
right?
He is, that guy don't play. He don't play games, that one. And, the forensics are the forensics.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? That's why we use forensics to solve cases, because it don't matter what people say. The evidence is going to tell the story. And it's going to be incredibly disheartening for me, and I'm sure for the families, especially if it comes out that not only did he have help, but there were, and the reason that we can know he had help is because we have multiple child wounds. We have multiple weapons used, right? And they're going to be able to tell by the wounds whether or not this wound was caused by the same weapon. And if we're going to get into an area where multiple weapons were used, okay, well then, I mean, am I expected to believe that this person is like John Wick, but he also cuts himself shaving and leaves sheets behind?
So AZ is asking in the chat, he would like you to explain your planted sheath hypothesis.
Yeah, we already went over this.
Okay.
Does he wants me to explain it again?
I think, he might have been a little late into the chat. If you want to go through it again, you can. If not, we can move on.
AZ there goes around to all of the YouTube channels.
Sure.
And he, she, they've been all over the YouTube channels saying that none of the victims had defensive wounds, when we all know they did, and it was already confirmed by the coroner and Moscow police that more than one victim had defensive wounds. So yeah, if he really needs me to go into the planted sheath thing, I have no problem doing that. As long as you don't mind me explaining it.
Sure, go ahead. I actually have to recognize this gifted membership really quick. Cranky gifted a membership, and it says the great and powerful Trixie was gifted a membership. So let's give her the new channel tone. I appreciate you and your membership. Great.
Congrats on the membership.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the support. I appreciate it. This has been one of the a very good show. It's funny. I had a lot of material tonight, but this has been far more interesting. I appreciate.
I did not mean to.
No, I was just saying I appreciate the phone calls, because this is what we want to do. This is what I want to do. I want the public to speak. I want to hear your story. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. That's why this channel is called the Opinionated Idiot. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to open it up to the public. I want to hear their concerns.
Actually, what made me click on your channel was your channel name. That was the name itself. I was like, okay, I got to hear what this guy's got to say. And I started following you.
Sure.
I want to say I started following you maybe a month or so back.
Okay.
And I try to catch you live when I can.
Sure.
But I follow a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not a YouTuber.
Yep.
So I need you to know this. I'm
Sure.
not a YouTuber. I'm not looking for clicks, likes, subs, none of that.
Right.
It's not what I do. It's, I have a whole nother life. This is just this case.
I have a whole nother life, believe me.
Yeah. This case really, it rocked everybody. I think, it hit home for me because obviously I have a college age student.
Right.
And, thank God. One thing I can say is thank God my kid never wanted to be with Breathe Life.
Yeah.
Breathe Life itself to me is just, and we know if you do your research on the hazing incidents, that poor kid down in Georgia, the most recent case, it's just horrifying what's going on some of these campuses, and then with COVID caused so much more problems and everything.
Right.
But so into the sheet theory. I'll go into the sheet theory.
Okay.
And here's the issue with the sheet. And I know it's probably already been explained over and over again, but I noticed it right away in reading the warrants. So this is what made me question the sheet. In the warrant applications for the warrant for his apartment in Pullman and the SWAT raid in Pennsylvania, they did not include the sheet. If you read through, and I'm pretty sure Subconscious Mouth already went through this with you, but if you read through it, the wording in the document is that originally when the warrant application was put in, it was put in with the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Someone over there in Pullman was like, we're not using this, and they amended it.
Mm-hmm.
Once it was amended, the sheet evidence was removed from the warrant application along with the DNA and the genealogy.
Mm-hmm.
It was not in the warrant application. So that's what made me question the sheet to begin with. Why would you not use your holy grail in your warrant application?
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me question it. Then I started thinking to myself, wait a minute. We know that 2 first responding officers, Smith and Nunes, they were there along with an IFT detective, Tolbert. Those 3 are the only 3 on scene for 4 hours before Payne and Blaker show up. And if you read through the sworn statement.
Oh, I did not hang up on you. I promise. I did not touch the phone. So, I'm getting a lot of calls. That's probably why. So I do apologize, but we'll move on. Or if that caller wants to call back, you can. I promise my hands were here the whole time. I did not touch the phone. I don't know if you hung up by accident. But if someone else wants to call in, they can do that as well. If not, if the caller wants to call back, we can do that as well. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to continue the show. I just need to use the restroom really quick. So I'm going to put pause here for a second. Guys, just hang out here for 2 seconds. I'll be right back. And I promise we'll continue. And if people want to call, that's fine. I'll be right back. The crux of doing a one-man show. Sometimes nature calls and you have to do your business. But I am back. Let me just readjust my camera here. Caller, I don't know what happened, but you got hung up on. I promise it did not hang up on you. I enjoyed the conversation. If you would like to call back, you can. If you'd like to call back another time, you can. I know there was a couple of people that were trying to reach out and call. If you would like to do that, you can, to voice your opinion, to let your voice heard. Please do so. But we're going to take a pause here because I do want to give away this mug tonight. And the way that I want to do it is we play kind of the card game. Phone line is open, 774-855-9400. You can call in. We're going to play pick a card. The first person that gets it will win the mug. You have to be able to give me your address. So keep that in mind. If you do not want to publicly share your address with me via email, then do not participate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shuffle the cards in front of everybody. I'm going to pick one and hold it up, and then you guys can keep picking a card until someone gets it and we will recognize it. Okay, I have picked my card. You guys can start picking. It's for the mug. Just call out your number in your suit. And if you want to participate, then you just have to email me at theopinionatedidiot@gmail.com. I will get your this out to you. And I will keep going, keep going. We don't have a winner yet. No winner yet. You have to say, no winner yet. Nope. I don't see a winner. Keep going. I don't see a winner. No jokers. Still no winner. Let me go back and look up and see if I see anything. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Still no winner. Let's see. Still no winner. Wow. Come on, guys. Or ladies and gentlemen. I think I see a winner. I think I see a winner. I see a winner. I just got to wait and confirm that it is, because this comes through a little bit slower. Then you guys can stop. I see a winner. I just got to wait for it to come through, and then I can pull it up. It just comes through a little bit slower on my side than the chat up above. Let's see. Stop. I'm waiting to see. Yep, it's 774. I know I saw this person. And she's... Did I miss it? I saw the person. Sorry. Let me see. My chat on this side is really slow. It just needs to catch up here. Don't guess anymore. I know I have the winner. I'm just waiting for it to come up. And then when it comes up, here it is. We got a winner. It was Christine Brown. You have won. You have my email address. Congratulations. Reach out to me and I will get this. Supporter of the channel. Good stuff. I will get this off to you. All you need to do, just email me your address and I will pack this up and get it out probably next week when I get time to go to the post office. Great. Good stuff. Great show. If anybody wants to call in, the number is 774-855-9400. I have a call coming in. Opinionated Idiot, you're live. Opinionated Idiot, you're live. Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you? What can I help you with?
I love your show. I wanted to tell you.
I appreciate that. Well, we love that you watch, or I love that you watch. I said we. Why did I say we?
Wait a minute. I called in and he's not talking to me on there.
You are live.
I'm on?
Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to hang up and move on to the next caller. You're live right now on air. What can I help you with?
I wanted to tell you my opinion of when he got pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he got pulled over, did you see the video where they showed his arm?
I did.
And you know what I think that is?
What did you think?
I think that a golf club.
There were what?
I think there's marks from a golf club.
Okay. And why do you think that?
Because of the imprint of the marks on his right side of his wrist.
Mm-hmm. You saying that he got hit with a golf club?
Yeah, I really think Ethan tried to knock the knife out of his hand with a golf club.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know enough. I mean, when I kind of looked at it, it could be an abrasion. It could have been a shadow. You know, that's the kind of way that I look at it. I was just more concerned about his body language. And, you know, as we know, the eyes are the window to the soul. So for me, you know, looking at the eyes and the body language just tells me a little bit more than his, you know, what was physically on him. So, you know, I see a lot of fear. I see a lot of something going on in that head up there. You know, they always say, if you look at Bundy, you look at BTK, you look at Manson, you look at the eyes, and it just, to me, a lot of craziness going on up there.
Exactly. If you get a chance, watch True Crime Network, where they like he scoped in on the picture of his arm. And I Googled the type of golf club and everything, and that's exactly what I think it looks like. But I could be an opinionated idiot.
I like how you tied that in. All right, caller, I'm going to move on with the show. I appreciate you calling in and giving me your opinion, and you're welcome to call back at any time.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Well, she thinks that it could be a golf club and that Ethan may have fought back. What do you guys think in the chat? Mama Joe's asking. She's Manny Joe. I said Mama Joe. Why did I say Joe? I said Mama. She said, what brand? 9 iron? Golf clubs. It could be possible. I don't know. Maybe it's a Callaway. It's a Callaway. But great call, by the way. I appreciate it. I appreciate your opinion on that. Phone line is open, 774-855-9400. If anybody wants to call in. What are we? Almost at the 2-hour mark. Maybe we'll go about another 15 minutes and we'll wrap this one up. It all depends on you guys. If you want me to keep going, we can keep going. I really would love to field some live calls tonight, since this is going so well. Maybe it was the 3 of clubs. Christine says, sorry to brag, but my phone actually logged off of YouTube and I got back on. I was meant to have that. I was meant to have that mug. Yeah. You won it. You won it, Christine. It's all yours. It's all yours. All right. So what do we have? Let's pull this up. In the meantime, if anybody wants to call, let's go back to, oh God, the pop-ups in these websites it's so obnoxious. There's so many pop-ups. But I'm going to go off to this. I wanted to pull this up just so everybody saw it. I think this is wrong. Bryan Kohberger's sisters lose their jobs despite family refusing to visit accused Idaho University killer in jail as he waits to find out if he faces death penalty. Wow, that's a very compelling headline, and I'll read a little bit for this. The sisters of the Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger have lost their jobs despite the family. The ads, the advertisements on these sites are insane. It's so distracting. I got pop-ups to the left down here. I got jokers to the left of me. I got jokers to the right. What the hell? All I want to do is read this article, man. The sisters of the Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger have lost their jobs despite the family refusing to visit the accused killer in jail, sources have revealed. The 28-year-old is accused of stalking and brutally murdering the 4 University Idaho students at their off-campus home in Moscow last November. Kohberger's arrest for killing has severely impacted his family, who are struggling financially, the sources told News Nation. Now his sisters Melissa and Amanda have been let go from their jobs because of their relationship with the accused killer, the outlet learned. Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home. We already know this information. Wow, they're even putting pictures of his sisters up. That's great. Come on, guys. Let's be a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Protective, I guess. I don't know. Come on. Like in January, the family issued a statement that said they would be standing by him, adding, "We love and support our son and brother." Yeah, discreet. Thank you. Classy. Yeah, that's kind of the words I'm looking for. The statement was released just days before the former Washington University criminology student was arrested and charged with 4 counts of murder. Now, months later, Kohberger's friends say they're facing a multitude of troubles in the wake of the arrest. His older sister, Melissa Kohberger, was a school counselor, and his other sister, Amanda, had been working as an actress. Both have been let go from their jobs. The family has reported not visiting Kohberger in jail. They have spoken to him on the phone. Kohberger, who was pursuing the PhD, we already know this. So anyway, it looks like his family is obviously struggling financially, and his sisters have faced some quarrels at their job. I think that this could possibly be a wrongful termination. I'm sure that there's going to be some, filings in that as well. So, yeah, you guys got it. Classy, tactful, just things like that. So, good old mainstream media, right? So anyway, I just wanted to bring this up as well. I'm sure that you guys already know. I'm not going to go over Brady Giglio and read the full definition because you guys have probably found a lot about that over the last 24 hours. I did talk about, when this became a major issue in one of the probably the most famous case ever to be tried publicly, which actually spawned court TV, the O.J. Simpson trial in 1995. And I talked about how Furman's racist statements were never disclosed to the defense, and the prosecution had known, and that came out in trial. But what I wanted to talk about was the issue of Brady Giglio and why, it possibly could have been filed, which most of the time they're filed in a case of just basic transparency. It says, and I just want to read this really quick. And I asked, a question of myself. I said, how often is Brady Giglio introduced in a case? The obligation to disclose expulsionary evidence under Brady Giglio arises from virtually every criminal case in the United States, as it is constitutional requirements that apply to both federal and state prosecutions. Prosecutors are required to search for any disclosed information. I'm going to take those out. That is favorable to the accused, whether it's not the defense, whether or not the defense requests it. This includes not only evidence that tends to show the defendant's innocence, but also the evidence that could be used to impeach the credible of government witnesses. While the extent of disclosure may vary depending on circumstances in each case, the obligation to disclose expulsionary evidence is fundamental principle to due process that must be followed in all criminal cases. Failing to disclose such evidence can result in serious consequences for prosecutors, including disciplinary actions, sanctions, or even reversal of a conviction. So it is mostly a standard practice in a criminal case. You may see that in most OJ Simpson like golf clubs. Victorine said, I haven't been chatty, but I've been watching a great show. This show actually was really good. It's been a great show. You guys are chatting. There's a large audience tonight, which is great. We had a great caller that called in. And I don't know what happened. We got hung up on, and I promise you I did not hang up because I was loving the call. The Canadian Cat Lady says, Bryan, you always get the likes. You don't have the problem to worry about. You're golden. Thank you so much. AC says OJ is on Gwyneth Paltrow's side. Oh man, that's a good one. Oh, geez, this is really good. This is good stuff. So what I wanted to do is just pull up. If you guys haven't seen, a lot of the question is this Sergeant Gunderson in this case, and the issue comes from a First Amendment complaint that was back in earlier of 2022. And this goes to a case that's called the Nathan Daniel Wilson filed this. And it's basically a Stickergate case. And you can see Shane Gunderson's name here. And if anybody doesn't know, he was the first arriving officer at King Road the afternoon or late morning after the murders. He was one of the first officers there that had taken statements and started to question and meet with witnesses. But the file is here. You can look it up. It's a First Amendment complaint. And what I'll do is I'll pull up an article that I had found on it. And again, I'm not sticking to a concrete thing like this is the internal investigation, because honestly, and this goes for any of the YouTubers out there too, we don't know. This could be a possibility of what it is, but the bottom line is we don't know. And this here, if anybody wants to read it, I'm going to drop the link here in the chat for you guys all to read if you want to look back and look this over. But I'm sure that you guys have read up about this. This is kind of the rumor that's going around online. I'm not sticking and saying that it's any type of concrete evidence. It's alleged that this is because of the internal investigation. I don't know. But anyway, basically this comes back to a case that's dubbed Stickergate. It was a civil rights, a free speech complaint. And apparently what happened was Gunderson was rough with this particular individual or individuals. And I guess did not read them their Miranda rights. And again, you can go in to read this if you would like to read more about this. I'm not going to read through all of this. It's a very long document, but I urge you all to take a look at this. And I'm sure that you probably already have read about it or heard about it on multitudes of channels so far. But there's a lot to read. They don't actually name, I believe from when I was scanning through it, they don't actually name the officers or officer that is involved, but you do have the other document that I did show, the actual filing. And you can see that here, the First Amendment complaint is at the very bottom of the page. So if you want to read both those documents, you can. I personally don't want to read through all of them. It would take me hours to go through it because the filing is like 29 pages, but it will give you some perspective of a possibility of what this internal investigation is. Army of Two is asking, Bryan, did you get my email last week answering the question you asked me about calling in? Just want to make sure you got it. I did get it. I respect what you said. Again, my phone lines are always open. If you want to call in, we can talk on a name level. You don't have to specifically say where and when or how. If you want to just say I have inside information, whatever you want to do is perfectly up to you. You don't have to call, but I do appreciate what you disclosed in the email. It's very interesting information. So yes, I am on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter as myself. I don't post there very often, but I'll give you the link to my Twitter as well. Twitter is here. You guys can check me out on the Twitter sphere. I don't generally go on there much. I'm not really a Twitter. Twitter's just way too much for me, man. I'm old school. I'm very old school with that stuff. So I do not think it does, because he was the first officer on the scene. The head detective would interview and take over the investigation. That's what they're using the first officer on, just using the first officer on the scene. Oh, he was the first officer on the scene. It was in the airmail article. You can go back and check that out. Army of Two said, "Thank you so much. I appreciate your understanding. Glad I could share my information." Yeah, it's very fascinating. That was a huge insight, what you gave me. I'm not going to disclose what we talked about because that's obviously between you and I, but it was very, very interesting information. Joe says, "I got locked out of Twitter for 11 hours, but I'm back. Twitter is the best for sports ball." The Twitter sphere. So what are we doing? Are we going to keep... Bob wants a sub count. Well, let's take a look. I am at 2929. Let's see. I'll tell you, getting to 3,000 has felt like a mother flopper. It's killing me. I just want to get over the hump. I want to be on. I want to get past this 3,000, and then I want to get to 5,000, and then I want to get to 10,000. We are right now 2988. We're getting close. If we have more shows like this, I think we'll get it. It's getting there. It's getting there. Like I said, my goal is to get 100 people in this room every night and get all of you guys back here, the ones that really watch the show consistently. All right, I'm going to keep the phone line open for a little bit longer. Maybe we'll truck on another 5 or 10 minutes. If someone wants to call in, you can. The phone line is 774-855-9400. If you want to call in, you want to say hi, you want to curse me out, you want to tell me to shut my channel down, by all means. If you want to give me your opinion, if you say you hate my channel, but you watch on a consistent basis, that's fine. Whatever you'd like to do. Do you know that getting subscribers is one of the most difficult things on YouTube? It's strange. You would think it's a lot easier. It's incredibly hard. And you are incredibly lucky if you get a video to go viral. That's, really where it pulls in those subs. But I love grinding. I love having a goal. I just love grinding it out and, baby steps. It takes a while. It's not going to be over overnight. It's going to take a little while. Subs are free. All you got to do is down there and click the subscribe button. It is free. Subs are free. Yes, Chosen Rosen. Subscribing is free. So how did you guys feel about the caller, the first caller? Does this sway you a little bit more in a different direction? Do you think that I was too passionate or hard about my questioning? Was I resistant? It was too long? I did have some other calls come in. I did have other calls that came in, but that's okay. 95 people. What can we do? What can we do? Do you guys want me to stay on a little longer? Do you want me to stay on a little longer live? I can do that. If not, we'll wrap up the show. Tomorrow night, guys. Actually, you know what I can do? Hang on one second. Hang on. Tomorrow night, we will be on. Oh, I have a phone call. Let's take this call. Opinionated Idiot, you're live on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Be with the big time showtime. Tim Munn, run out of Utah.
What's going? Good. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I've been watching this case since day one, and just kind of had me going, dude. It's just, I've been freaked out since day one. Just how 4 people got stabbed, and you know, and I'm the one that thinks they got the wrong guy. It's just a look, you know, on the face, and I got a lot of reasons why, you know. And I know cops are kind of dirty, you know, and you know, I know a lot of law enforcement. You know, I got family law enforcement.
Sure.
And one thing you need to know about is informants. There's all kinds. There's mercenary informants. They get paid high dollar to take down people.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know there's people out there like that. And you know, Mike Stedham, one of my fight contractors, did a documentary about me because I signed up as a cadet, man. I got in this business a long time ago, and I used to drug bust, man, big one. And I got paid high dollar, and you know, I got an uncle who shot and killed 2 triple Tennessee line, and
I'm sorry.
Uncle signed me up with State Zero, and I want to be an agent, you know, but I needed school credits, and so I went this whole deal, and I went out to meth lab, and you know, I see this whole thing about Bryan Kohberger and all this, and that. It's just, you know, all these people naming out stuff, and I mean, I've worked so many cases, and it's like he didn't even fit that kind of attitude that people have, you know, worked and stuff, and you know, when I see all these people naming out informants, like, you know, just bust it out, man, you know, whatever, you know, if you're hiding something, trying to cover something up, but I really think that they got the wrong guy in a way, and God, I've been sending Bryan Kohberger money. I'm gonna write to him because long story, but I was on a job where I heard a scream, and these guys want to try to kidnap a Mexican immigrant, which lives in Moscow, and it doesn't matter with all the stuff I've done to make fights. You know, after they find the body, they're like, damn, no matter what, if we go to trial, we're going to lose. So I'm kind of explaining things like that because I confronted Ian Harsh. Hey, man, you did hear that scream. How come you can't get a polygraph test by FBI Mike Gannis? And I've actually got PI test by FBI Mike Gannis under Jason Jensen, the PI. They all know I'm a cage fighter. And Mike, I don't give a damn who you actually done all these cases with. If you lie to me, you're going to jail. I said, okay. So he's a big, tall guy, you know. He's about 7 foot tall. And I bet he did a body slam me. You can pull him up, man. This guy's really does polygraphs. And so I was in his office for 3 hours. And at the end of the interview, he gets up and takes my hand. He goes, Tim. He goes, you scored the highest on my test. He goes, I got a lot of work to do. And so next month is like the anniversary, you know?
Yeah.
And I can kind of explain how these guys did all this stuff. But I mean, it's the state suggestion will come out about it. But when I look at Kohberger, it's like, you know, this guy, a lot of people hate cops, especially people that work for cops. You know, they don't like that whole rack of a deal. And that's why me and Mike Stedham, when I fought for him, he's an ex-sheriff, you know. So we got along. So he knew some detectives I knew, and he knew I was about that business, you know. But Mike, big promoter for Ultimate Combat Experience, you know, and you know, in fact, I called him up 2 weeks ago with a couple of inmate fighters and cops. I said, hey, man, let's head down to Moscow and go make the business happen, you know. But I got to call back to Chief Fry, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he probably, I gave him all my credit. Let's say, man, you know, you got a problem out there. And you got this wacky stuff. And so I'm being straight up on the down, man. You know, and there's something going on in that whole house case. And I even told the president, hey, man, the house, I want to tear it down. You know, I think they got something in the house, you know. But here's a work for Chief Fry. So I ain't got to call back to Chief Fry because I want to say, hey, man, what's up, dude? What's up with this gag order, you know? And so what I'm doing is I'm going to send Bryan Kohberger some more money, but then I'm going to write to him. And I'm going to say, hey, man, if you want to take a polygraph test, I'll pay for it. And his test is 95% accurate. But if he actually fails that test, the boom, case closed.
Right.
But you know, I mean, that's why I'm getting out there to say, hey, these people should be polygraphed because I believe in that test. I believe when I saw promo, you pull this up, Elizabeth, Jason P.I. test, Jason K. test. It's a big thing because it's like, it's how people plan stuff, you know?
Right.
And you have to have Jason how they plan up, but I see how he's planning out. But I don't see why Bryan Kohberger is going to want to ruin his whole night. At one night, you know, and what I'm thinking is they've probably seen his workbooks or looked at his car. But this guy's undercover. He said a thorough, he's a pig or something, you know. And so people hate on that stuff, you know, and especially you get around that type of group. And you know, I had a lot of respect and disrespect in the page, but you know, I mean, a lot of people knew about me. They're like, oh, dude, don't mess with that dude, you know. And I had a good time with Mike. Mike said, did a documentary about me, worked with Billy Mack, and so I looked at this whole trouble thing, and I looked at Bryan's eyes. I'm thinking, I don't think he's got that in him to go in there. Because I studied from a guy,
Mm-hmm.
I went in houses and where I just had plain clothes and wearing one piece suit, and that way, I ain't going there with a gun. But hey, they want to react, and I can do what I got to do. But it doesn't like that happen because it's how you evaluate the situation to go in. Because I'll tell you, I've actually I know a lot of dirty informants. I know a couple of dead, and when they mention that, it's like, wow, somebody's trying to pinpoint the stuff, and they want to get up on charges. And I've seen a lot of cases where informants, they turn on their act or they do something, and so there's a lot of hate, and so when they sign up in a little packet,
Mm-hmm.
you got to know the informant packet. I think you need to pull up because if you got something and our colleagues are interested in, they're going to pay you.
Yeah.
But the main thing I would take it up is the DEA pays more, and you got state cops or the state bureau. They pay better, but they have control of the whole thing. But these city cops, like, they're trying to make a case themselves, and they don't know what they're doing. And then you got that Chief Payne, 3 years, and he's a homicide detective. I call that BS. So this whole internal affairs thing, when I started out in the state bureau, they had an internal affairs unit, and my sergeant, special agent, Kavanaugh, she said, "Hey, you lied to me, I'll jail you." And so the whole thing is, they're pretty serious about that,
Mm-hmm.
And there is some dirty cops out there, but it's just how they misinterpret it because you got one informant comes out, stashes stuff, hides it in the house just to get out on a charge and have the house illegally raided. I got a lot of stories, though, but like I'm keeping focused on this whole case because it still puts me, I just hope to God they get the right guy, but I'm very interested, and see what Kohberger says. Hey, look at me, Kohberger. This is who I am, man. I want to know what you are. You have the same kind of outfit I wanted to do, blase. Are you down to take a polygraph test by FBI Mike Dennison? If he says yes, then, there's going to turn things around. And so I'm not ready to do it yet because they got this gag order, and I don't think that the Latah County jail is going to say, okay, we're going to release Tim's information. But if they release it me, they already know who I am. So I've already taken point to them and say, hey, man, you guys want to come out and make something happen, And I get a call back from them, so I call it BS. Like, when they first started this case, this whole thing happened, they had a tip line. And these people, because I had my theory, and this lady had no experience, and she just, like, taking all this. She's like, oh, my God, it was just too much for her to handle. And so I straight out called the dispatch lady back. I said, this lady's going to F the case up. First of all, she don't have no experience taking phone calls on criminal cases, especially homicide. And that's when they changed over to the FBI. So the FBI was taking.
It's strange. I did not hang up. It's just the way that this app works. I got another call here. I'm going to take caller. I'm sorry. I did not hang up. It's just the way that this app works. If there was another person that was trying to call in, please call back. You can now. The line is free. Sir, thank you for calling. I appreciate your story. Everybody's loving you in the chat. You guys are so funny. There was another caller that was trying to call in. You can call. The phone line is free. Oh man, that was a great call. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You do have a lot of stories to call. I appreciate everybody calling in. Everybody's loving you in the chat. They really love you. That guy was awesome. He was so great. And if he ever wants to call back, we can dub him Mike Tyson. Yes, I like that. Mike Tyson, if you ever want to call back, please do. There was another caller that was trying to call in. Before I wrap up the show, if you would like to call in, please do. That was great. You guys are great. She says I'm crying. She's crying. You guys are awesome. We'll wait a couple more minutes if that caller wanted to call back. And I don't know what it does, but I think when the phone goes too long, it must have a natural, when your phone screen shuts down. I think that's what happened. But if anybody would like to call back, I had a 414 number calling. I don't know if that was the same person, but I'm going to leave the phone line open for another couple minutes. We'll get ready to head out here. It's getting late here on the East Coast. The viewers are dropping off. Let's see. Let's do a sub count check. All right. Let's see where we're at. We are at 2989. So I get to change this. We're so close to 3,000. If anybody's over here that hasn't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe. This is a very, very interactive show. Tonight has been an amazing time. It's great in the shows that I can just come on and I don't have to do a lot of work. We can just kind of hang out and have, you know, I don't try to make it funny because this is definitely serious. But that was great. He needs to call back and finish though. Yeah, if the caller wants to call back, he can. If not, we're gonna wrap it up here in a couple of minutes because the watchers are going away. And tomorrow night, anyway, I want to go over and do this for you guys. So let's see. Tomorrow night, Drunk Turkey at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. I got another call here. Let's call in. Opinionated Idiot, you are live. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, man, I didn't mean to talk so fast, but
okay.
I know you got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know, I got to slow myself down.
It's okay.
I know people are kind of like, what the heck is this guy? You know, and that's why they call me the big time showtime.
They loved you. They dubbed you. They dubbed you Mike Tyson. They love you.
You know what? I sound like that because the fact is, when I fought Machine the Dream Peterson, he sounds just like Mike Tyson.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the fight, I like the big pennies are coming out. Everybody looking like this big bodybuilder. Now he's a big Hollywood star, you know?
Yeah.
And he's doing big things. He's actually from your area, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Well, from Bryan Kohberger's area.
I think that's it.
Yep.
No, he whipped the shit out of Bryan Kohberger quick. But so it's not something like that. But I'll tell you what, this whole thing about when I talk about informant, and you know, informants can be known as straightforward, especially dirty ones. And you know, you're looking at people, because sometimes cops trap people, they set people up, and that's probably what they're looking into right now. Hey, I was trapped by this cop. Sometimes cops say things and lies to fool people, to what they call it, turn someone in, you know, or CI form where they can get a search warrant for a house.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game they play. They need 2 search warrants to make it into the house. Sometimes they go with someone, sometimes they don't. They do what they do is that's great control, and it's a big deal. I mean, there's about 10, 15 agents, you know, the big one, and you know, they don't play, you know, they're pretty armed up, and you know, you either have a chance to wear a wire or you don't, or you know what I mean? It's all it is, but there's some that don't wear wires, and it kind of messes things
Hey,
up.
sir, I'm going to take this other call so I can get the opportunity to get another caller on, okay?
Okay.
But you're welcome to call back at any time.
No, I will, man. I've seen your show, man. I just kind of want to clear some things, but I know, but you know, well, when I get that letter back from Kohberger, I'll let you know. But anyway,
yeah, please do.
See you.
All right, bye-bye. Caller, please call back. Ask him if Customato was a golfer. Yeah, caller, you can call back that 414 number. If you want to get it in really quick, we're going to wrap this up at about 10:30. And then tomorrow night, I just dropped the link in the chat. Drunk Turkeys tomorrow night. You guys need to go over and watch us. It's going to be Drunk Turkeys. It's going to be me. It's going to be Publicly Buzzed. It's going to be a connoisseur of crime, of true crime. You're going to go over and check that out. It's going to be fun. Real quick before we wrap this up, 6 more minutes. Caller, if you were trying to call in, please give a call. And then I will be back on Sunday night. I was going to do the Throwback Thursday show, but this was way too important. We needed to get into it. Sunday night, we'll be looking back at the Stephen McDaniels case, and we'll be going back to doing that. That is the link there. You guys need to go in and click the reminder button so you were there with me at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night. We'll go back. We'll talk to Stephen McDaniels, and maybe we'll do a little bit of the wrap up of this whole weekend, the experience that I had on Drunk Turkey. So let me see. I'm going to see where we're at as far as subscribers. We're gonna do another 5 minutes here on air, and then we're gonna bust out for the night. We're still at 2989 subs. We're almost close to 3,000 guys. I could not do it without your help. MRG, have a good night. I know it's getting late. Caller, you got about another 5 minutes if you'd like to call back. If not, we're going to end this up pretty soon here. What did I saw one thing that I wanted to play about that sheath. Hang on. And this actually talks a little bit about the Brady Giglio as well too. This was on Banfield. Let's play this really quick. If I can get it to, if I can get some.
November 14th, 2012.
What's going on?
My 7-year-old son, Daniel.
There is also this incredible reporting that the knife sheath that was found at 1122 King Road, up on Maddie Mogan's bed beside the bodies of Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez, that knife sheath that was left behind with the trace DNA, apparently sent out of state to a startup in order to process. Don't know if that means the lab in Idaho, the state lab wasn't good enough. But that's where it went to identify. This is a really good time to bring in Mark O'Mara, criminal defense attorney, civil rights attorney, smartest person I know in the law. I am curious right away, Mark.
I want you to listen to this segment right here. This is important, and this is about Brady Giglio. I want you to listen to this segment.
Before I even get to the document stuff, about that knife sheath, because all I can think of is the defense attorney saying, wait, the state of Idaho you couldn't do the job of finding any DNA on that knife sheath? You had to send it, outsource it? Does that mean that's going to be litigated and fought and contested and diminished by a defense attorney at trial?
Absolutely, because again, defense attorneys look wherever they can find to find a potential of reasonable doubt. And when there is a test, either that they have to do unique, they have to go out of state, they have to do it a second or third time, or it's inconclusive. Those are little items, little catchphrases that defense attorneys use to see if there's reasonable doubt there. Now, again, it's got to be taken in comparison to all the other evidence.
Yeah, you know what? I do agree she can get on the obnoxious level, but the only thing is they really have been the only people reporting on this case. So, I mean, that's why we reference it a lot on this channel. I'm gonna pull this because I'm probably gonna go off air here in a minute. Did you guys see the new intro tonight? Did you like the new intro? If you haven't seen it, would you like to see it really quick, or do you want to wait for it when I go live again? Did you guys see the new intro? I'm wondering some feedback on that. Do you want me to play it for you real quick before I go? Would you like me to play it? I can play the intro. I get a $5 super chat from Christine Brown. She says, "You are the best. Thank you so much." And I will play that. Let's give her a cheer. All right, let's play the intro, and then I'm going to do the outro, and I'm going to get out of here. All right, ready? New intro is this.
The Opinionated Idiot.
What'd you think? Did you guys like that? I feel like I'm at a rave. Yeah, I just wanted, energy and some, Just get it going, get the show going, get everybody in the mood. The kid that worked on it did a pretty good job. I was expecting a little bit more and a little better, but for what I paid for it. But it's usable now. We'll use that. I love it. I think it's funny. And it was fun. So Lisa sent a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. And we'll give her a little cheer. Good job. Yeah, it is. It's got good energy to it. All right. It is 2.5 hour show. Very close to coming 2.5 hours. Everybody is starting to peel off here. I have to be up very early tomorrow. I'm sure all of you have to get to work and whatever you guys do in your personal lives. You have my email, you guys know, or ladies, because I have more women that watch my channel, which is, I thought this was going to be like a, and no offense to the women, I'm just saying, I thought guys would be more interested in true crime, but I have so many women followers. I think it's fantastic. I just want to be, you know, I want to end the show with this. We all need a space sometime to come to. And we all need a space that we can come to get away from our regular, everyday, crazy lives. And I am happy and honored that I can provide that for you, you know, 3 nights a week. And I'm happy and honored that you guys, or ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I always default to guys. And I don't mean that in an offensive way, that you come to the show and you hang out and you chat and you support by, you know, giving money and memberships. And I appreciate that. It supports this. It supports the channel. It allows me to grow. And like I said, my dream is to get this out of my bedroom and into an actual space someday. I am glad that I can provide entertainment to get you away from your everyday lives, that we can come in and we can focus on certain things that are very important in this country, like this case and past cases and present cases, and being advocates for victims. And I don't really take a general joking tone in any of this. It's very serious, and I get it. It's okay sometimes to smile and laugh and have a little bit of fun. I don't mean in any disrespect to the families of victims or victims' families. We're all human. We need to sometimes smile and, you know, let loose a little bit. And if we can do that a little bit towards the end of the show or whatever, it's okay. But I just don't make a mockery of things. And I don't ever want to make a mockery of anybody, of their family and all that. And, you know, that's what we do here. So I appreciate all of you. I love seeing all the familiar faces in the chat, all my channel members. You guys make me smile. I love the emails. By the way, if anybody wants to send any postal mail, I have now a postal address. I'll drop that in the chat. So keep in mind, if it's anything offensive or anything like that, it's going to get snuffed out at the post office. So don't even go there. But I'll drop that in the chat. Postal address is here if you want to send anything. If not, you can email me at theopinionatedidiot@gmail.com. I read all of my emails and I respond. I have regular emailers that respond to me, that write to me. I respond all the time. And I appreciate, yeah, a jar of farts. That'd be great. Yeah, send me a jar of farts. Christine, you need to email me your address so I can get this mug off to you. And the next time we'll do the, I don't know, is that poor taste a Grubhub? It's not a DoorDash, but we'll give this away. I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that, and that was pointed out to me. But next time, maybe we'll give that away. Next show on my channel is Sunday night. We're going to do our Throwback Thursday because I had that scheduled. I may change the format on that show, just depending on how everything goes tomorrow. Maybe we do a recap. We come back and talk Kohberger. But That's the link for my show on Sunday. It may change, but that will be the link for it. Yeah, glitter bombs. Okay, folks. It's awesome. We got over to 100 people this evening. We grabbed some new subscribers, which is fantastic. I am now presently, before I go off air, I'm going to change the subscriber count. I only need, oh shit, my 9 just fell. I'm not going to get up because I do every show in my boxer shorts. So no stripping on, no OnlyFans tonight. Let me see if I have another. I don't. But we hit 2,990 this evening. I'm happy to say that. So 10 more to 3,000. We're going to get there tomorrow night. Drunk Turkey show. You all better be there in support of them. And then we're going to try to get this kind of community over here on our existing channels. Maybe all 3 of us can work together. Drunk Turkey, Publicly Buzzed, and Opinionated Idiot. You all have a fantastic evening. The calls this evening were fucking amazing. It was so fun. This was a really, really fun show. I hope we have more shows like this in the future. You know what? I like round numbers, so we're going to wait 1 more minute on air, and then I will go off at exactly 2 hours and 30 minutes. Was the earlier time, me starting at like 8 o'clock, better for everybody? Because I can go to an 8 o'clock start, because I know these tend to run late sometimes. I don't mind starting at 8, but you guys can all let me know in the comments or the chat. All of my channel moderators, all of the people that super chatted tonight, all the people, the new members, I appreciate all of you. Tomorrow night, Drunk Turkey show. You guys all better be there. I love all of you all. As always, you are the best crime community on the internet, and you are the best people that I've ever talked to in my entire life. I truly mean that. It's really great. Okay, I'm going to go out. I will see you all tomorrow because we're coming up at the 2:30 mark. Everybody stay safe. We live another day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.